First at 5, more on that massive fire that tore through a former church.
Well, the fire was so intense it damaged homes all around it as well. Good evening to you, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natasha Brown.
And I'm Yuki Washington. Firefighters in Pottstown got the call just before 6:30 this morning. It took an army of 250 firefighters to get the 5-alarm blaze under control.
And this afternoon, people watched in disbelief as the scorched steeple, which stood for more than a century, fell. And 11 hours later, firefighters are still on that scene. Liz Crawford joining us now with more on this firefight and even this residual activity happening there behind you, Liz.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it is still a very active scene here in Pottstown. That church is behind me, still standing. But all along the street here, you have demolition crews ready to begin that process within the next hour. Only once all of that is done and it's safe and secure will they open North Hanover Street here. Now, there is no official word yet on what caused this fire, but we learned there has been a squatting problem inside that vacant church for weeks now. Paula and Tom Fennelly, Pottstown residents for more than 70 years, looked on as parts of the steeple of a once iconic church came crashing down.
It's sad. I hate to see an eyesore and when there's so many beautiful parts of Pottstown, and it was sad to see this street marred.
The fire chief said flames started raging around 6:30 Friday morning and crews were on scene within minutes. But the fire was quickly growing, so they needed to bring in 4 other fire companies, and it took a total of 250 firefighters to get the blaze under control.
The building is not safe, so we're still pretty far back working to keep the fire under control.
No one was injured, but 10 homes were evacuated out of precaution for fear the building could collapse. A total of 35 people were forced to leave their homes, including Sheila Dugan, who lives right next door to the church and was the only person to have a home damaged.
It's great to say thank God you're alive, but you know, I've got my pictures and all of my things that are in there now. It's, you know, it's not so easy to just be like, oh, you have your memory. It's not the same.
Dugan said she's been reporting trespassers inside the church for weeks now.
We warned them. There were squatters in there.
The borough manager confirmed there had been reports of people getting inside the church. And when I reached the owner of the property, he told me police had been called out to the former church 3 times in the last 10 days because of trespassers.
Obviously, they were having some kind of issues where people were getting in there.
I know what they had in there. I know what they were doing. We had 3-4 times this week the police were here because we called about squatters in there. It's a drug haven.
On Friday, police had no comment. The owner of the property, a real estate development company called Laystick Acquisitions, told me he had planned to convert the building into residential units while still preserving the exterior. Now, the fire chief said firefighters will be here overnight to monitor the building. The fire marshal will begin its investigation into the cause of this fire once it is safe to do so. In Pottstown, Liz Crawford, CBS News, Philadelphia.
All right, Liz, thank you so much for the very latest there at that scene. Now, stay with CBS News Philadelphia as investigators do pinpoint what sparked this massive blaze. When we're not on television, you can always get the very latest online, cbsphiladelphia.com.